In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can backtest a Forex strategy, and I'm going to be going through around 30 minutes or so worth of backtesting data on GBPUSD. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to stick around to the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe for more, and let's get straight into the backtesting. Okay guys, so as always, I'm going to be starting off with the rules that we actually want to backtest so that we have a sort of clear system that we're going to be following during the backtesting process and making this as mechanical as possible rather than just entering random trades. Because the idea behind backtesting is that you want to collect data on a specific system, and the best way to do that is basically to make that system as objective as possible, meaning you have clear and concise rules such as this, which I'm going to go through in a second. But yeah, starting off, we're going to be identifying the higher time frame market structure and direction, and then obviously breaking that down to the lower time frames as well, just so we have a clear picture of what the overall market is doing, both on the higher time frame and the lower time frame. We are going to be then identifying our point of interest to look for potential trades, of which I'm going to be testing two types. The first type is going to be an imbalanced area of supply and demand, and for this to become a valid level of supply and demand, we also have to see some liquidity taken out of the market following the order flow. So if price is in an uptrend, we don't want to be looking left at supply zones to sell from. The type 2 is simply a higher time frame liquidity pool, and once that area is wicked out, we want to be seeing that confirmation afterwards. There's an example. And for the actual confirmation, so the lower time frame entry model, what we're going to be testing is, as simply put as possible, a breaker structure on the 15 or the 5 minute, preferably the 15, but also the 5 minute if the point of interest is on a lower time frame. Once we see that breaker structure or the change of character, whatever you want to call it, we want to identify an imbalanced level of supply and demand to set our limit on. And for higher probability setups, we also need to see some liquidity being engineered above or below that level. We're going to be risking 1% per trade, not making break even for the purpose of the back testing, and it must be a minimum of a 1 to 3, otherwise we don't take any trades. So yeah, if we get straight into it now, I'm going to be continuing a session that I already had open on GBPUSD. You guys can see at the bottom here that we've already started to backtest this pair. I think I've gone around 2 years now on this. Not 2 years in real life, I mean 2 years of backtesting data, obviously. But yeah, starting off on the weekly time frame, and then we'll work our way down. So overall on the weekly time frame, we're clearly bearish. Price printed a lower low here. We pulled back, respected this weekly level of supply, and now it looks to me like we're heading for this weekly low. So this will be my overall target for the sell positions at this present moment. Going down to the daily. One thing I like to do when backtesting and also when analyzing the market in the live market, I like to just draw on the structure and also the mitigations. So in this case, we had a mitigation of this area, price pulls back, respected that daily level of supply. Then we've had a follow through for another breaker structure just here. So what we can sort of anticipate now is that we will get some sort of daily pullback into a previous level, maybe this area of supply here, before then continuing the sells. Since that was on the daily time frame, it would also be valid to look for some potential buys up to those previous levels if price on the lower time frames gives us a change in character or a flip in market structure. we go down lower, let's just see what happens here. Okay, there we go. So after we had a sort of sweep of this low, we can anticipate now that price is going to do a deeper retracement, at least to fill this imbalance and come into this level, or to take out some previous liquidity. So it would be valid for me at this point to actually look for a buy position, since we have had the hourly change of character. If you notice, we've had a lower low, lower high, lower low. Price broke out of that hourly downtrend structure just here, and we created this very nice level of 1 hour demand. If we mark that on, so it'd be valid for me to set a limit at this zone. I'd also want to watch out for this level of supply as a potential area where price could reverse from. So for now, we'll just set that limit and see if price tags us in. And for the target, we will just target this current high. And play price. We change the color of this. We also had sort of a internal confirmation. We had this change of character here with this sort of internal downtrend, and price left, if we look closely, this sort of imbalanced area of demand down there with this sort of trendline liquidity above it. And in the real market, I wouldn't enter a position on this area just simply because we are still in this trade and I don't want to risk 2%, but this would be an area where I'd be looking to get in on the trade if we hadn't entered this initial trade. And there you go, you guys can see we respected that area, but price tapped into this level of supply and very impulsively moved over to the downside. So we could see the higher time frame downtrend continue from this point. We also had a sweep of these sort of equal highs or trendline highs. So if we mark that on, yeah, and there we go. That is a break of structure. So yeah, let's continue. Now we'd obviously want to see another pullback into some sort of area. At the moment, not really seeing too much, so we'll just play price. One level we could see, we have this supply. Price pulls back. There we go, let's see what happens in this level. Or equivalently, we also have this 15-minute zone. Let's see which one reacts. Sort of had a confirmation here, but we had a reaction from demand as well. So there we go. The first zone was respected, but we didn't get a pullback into our area. And yeah, I don't really see a valid entry on that trade for this particular strategy. And there we go, further break of structure, continuing the trend. yeah, so still looking to continue this downtrend. Not seeing too much on the daily. Could see price go down to the low from here. We've had a sweep of that liquidity. Or not. There was no valid entry there. So we'll keep playing it. Again, this would be another break of structure. See if there's any valid areas. Sort of have this zone. Also being cautious because the daily looks a bit overextended, like it's due a pullback, maybe to this zone. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Keep an eye out for a confirmation. Yeah, no confirmation, but we did get that continuation to the downside. So again, just following the supply chain. And the next level I'm looking at is this one, as this is the supply and we have some liquidity below it. See what happens there. Okay, so we got a pretty nice rejection of it. Did we break some structure? Yes, but I don't really like that wick. Let's see what happens. Maybe if we get a sweep like that. Yeah, again, so correct zone, but no valid entry. Just marking that on. And we could see price come back up to this level. This supply here looks like an inducement to me. So if price comes back into this level, that would be a valid level still to look for the sells. There we go. So you wouldn't expect price to completely reverse from here, because as I mentioned, we have that weekly low just below, and we haven't had any sort of daily breaks of structure or areas of significant demand to the left. So this would be like an optimum level where I would look for the sells. So let's see what happens in this zone. You can also see that price came to that refined 15-minute level, whereas before we sort of induced it. If I just change the color of this, see if we get confirmation. All right, there we go. So that would be exactly what I'd want to see. We had a sweep followed by a break of structure, and the candle which caused the sweep was this one, and so this would be the entry point, like that. Stops just above the wick and targeting this swing low for around a 1 to 5. Pretty decent risk to reward. Oh, almost SL. There we go, that's a good sign. We had another break of structure. We could also see maybe price pull back here for a re-entry. Let's see, and I would make this first entry break even as well. If this one does tag in. Which it might not. No, so I'm gonna delete that limit. And probably just let this trade play out now. There we go. Nice TP on that one. Okay, so just continuing with the trend once again. Break of structure. We have had now a sweep of that weekly low. So we have to kind of be a lot more cautious with the sells, as once price sweeps higher time frame liquidity, that's when you normally get the reversal. And we can also delete some of this to make it a bit less messy. So yeah, you guys can see we swept that weekly low. So yeah, we want to be a little bit more cautious with the sells. There we go, price is continuing up. And there we go. Like I said, once price sweeps higher time frame liquidity, that's when you normally get the change in trend, which we just had here on the 1 hour. You guys can see we had that change of character. This was the lower low, lower high, lower low. Price is now broken out of that, forming a higher high. After the sweep of liquidity. So we want to wait for now a pullback potentially into this zone. If we look on the 4 hour, also looking at some previous levels of supply. So we have this one here. where price could react from. Normally when I like to see the changes of trend, I also want to see the supply area just above the lower high fell for extra confirmation, because sometimes when the change of character can also be a sweep of liquidity, and a lot of the times when this happens, it will come to the supply area immediately above the lower high for then the sells. So yeah, just want to be cautious of that. In this case, that area failed. And price never pulled back to that zone. We had a second breaker structure just there. So now just looking to follow this trend. And on the daily, we will keep in mind that we've still had this daily breaker structure. So we'll keep that marked on, and also noting that we have this daily level of supply where price may want to come and retest. Also, we had quite a clean reaction from this supply, which swept liquidity to the left. And given this huge momentum, I would guess this is a news candle. This kind of changes the narrative that I had. So given this much momentum from that area of supply, I'd now probably look for sell continuations. So you can see we've kind of had that change of character in this internal trend. So we can wait and see what price does. I'd want to see a sweep of this for potential sells back down to the low. I don't see price coming all the way back to here. If it does, then I'd say it's bullish. So I'll monitor closely after we get a sweep of this wick. This is an entry model that I like to use after news. So when you get these big news candles and then you get like a really small retracement back up, followed by another move down, price will nearly always retrace, sweep that last bit of liquidity coming into the imbalance above, and then we will get the move down. So let's see what happens if price pulls back to that level. There we go. So we have a sweep. And now on the 5 minute, I would simply want to see structure fell. So this low has to go for me. There we go. That would be our change of character. And this is the zone which caused that flip. And by flip, I mean change in structure. So enter on this zone, stops above here because price could always come up and retest into the imbalance, and targeting this previous low. Might have stops just a bit above because we have this hourly level of supply as well. So just to be safe, we'll put the stops just there. Trade tagged in. Let's have a look. There we go. We got that further breaker structure. And once we get that further breaker structure like we had here, I will look for potential re-entries on the trade. Let's see if we get any. Not really seeing anything so far. And yeah, we didn't get one. So nice 1 to 4. which is definitely good enough for me. And now we've had that breaker structure for the sell continuations. But even so, look at how the reaction once price took that weekly liquidity, we get that move up. Quite a big move up as well with a lot of bullish momentum. And that happened immediately after we took that weekly liquidity. Get rid of this one. So now simply just looking to follow this trend for further sells. One area that I see at the moment, we have this 4-hour level, which is the one which caused the break. So if we watch what happens at that area. There we go, nice reaction. That's our change of character. And what I'd want to see now would be a sweep of this wick. And we also have a level of supply just above. So let's see if price comes all the way back. I'm going to just set the limit on the wick and target the low. Oh, there we go. That was a bit clutched. Price came very, very close to our stop loss. And one thing we could learn there is don't get FOMO and set the limit lower than it should be. Price should have my entry should have realistically been on this level of supply, as that was imbalanced and we had liquidity below. So we should have entered there for a better risk to reward. That almost cut 2 hours off of our trade. So not really ideal. And now that we've had that second break, we can look for a potential re-entry. That's a nice zone there, actually. Let's see what happens in that zone. Yeah, good zone, but no confirmation. And there we go, TP hit. Like I said, that trade could have been a lot better if we had waited for the supply level. So again, just looking to follow the trend. I think if I can remember, the reason GU was moving with such a nice trend in bearish movements during this time was because we had some sort of pound news, maybe lowering the interest rates last year or something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, at the moment, the fundamentals were in our favor and also the technicals as well. So I'll simply be looking to follow the trend once again. And we have this area where I can look for sells. It's an area of supply above this liquidity. We also have this area where we could come and retest. Price had a nice reaction from it before. And we got a further break structure there as well. So let's see what price does if it comes back. There we go. This would be a high probability setup for me. We had a sweep of previous highs. We've had this change of character in there. And we have also formed this new supply, which was the one that caused the break structure, and it's imbalanced. So simply entering on this level. We'll put the stop there, so it's about a 1 to 3. There we go. Pulls back, sweeps this, which was the last bit of internal liquidity. So now it shouldn't come above this high, and it should head for the low. Let's see what happens. And there we go. Clean setup, that one. Cool. So this video is already 30 minutes long. So I don't want to make it any longer, but I hope you guys found this video useful, and I hope you can take either the trading strategy away from this video, or how to actually collect proper statistics on your strategy and backtest it properly. If you guys are interested, this software is called FX Replay. I am not sponsored and I do not have an affiliate link. I just wanted to mention this, as it is a lot better than backtesting on TradingView bar replay, because in addition to being actually able to place the trades and not go back in time, you can basically only go forward. You can't rewind, so you can't cheat, unlike on TradingView bar replay. But in addition to that, you also get the analytics, so you don't need to get out the calculator and start doing your own statistics. If this loads. Yeah, so basically you get pretty much all the statistics you would need. Average RR, things like that, average duration, performance by day, month, and also by sessions. Anything you could basically think of will be in the statistics section of FX Replay. But yeah, like I mentioned, I hope you guys found this video useful. If you manage to stick around to the end of the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.